gotta be an idiot to bet on that parlay.
It's DTF or bust.
Put it on my mama's porch tomorrow.
Welcome back to Hold My Bev Podcast. I'm your host, Brandon Park. Here with me, as always, the one, the only DTF. Dylan, how was your weekend?
My weekend was wonderful. It would be better if Daniel Jones would stop taking so many sacks.
Yeah, he sure does like sacks.
I just wish he'd throw the ball, maybe throw a pick. That's what I've been waiting on.
Oh, do you have an interception?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
because it's like a given.
yeah,
I have an interception, and I kind of I went against myself. I got an interception from him, and I also have a Malik Neighbors touchdown, but I should have went with the George Pickens touchdown, but that's basically cursed tonight as well. Two of them were taken away, as it's still 9-9 in deep into the third quarter. Gotta love primetime unders,
oh yeah,
as the lad would say.
yeah. No, this was the lad's night for sure for the primetime unders, but I know he won't bet anything with the Steelers in it.
Yep, because he says fuck them.
Yeah. Uh, all right. Let's go ahead. Oh, well, first of all, how was your weekend?
It was great.
It was great. You do
Yes.
anything fun this weekend?
Um, Trying to think of exact. Wow, they just ran back a touchdown and punt return touchdown.
Who? Steelers?
Calvin Austin,
Oh, bet.
but there's a flag in the field, but I think they're gonna be offsetting because looked like I don't know. We'll see. But let's see. What was this weekend? No, it didn't do much. Had my niece on one day. Went to a winery the another day, and then Sunday was just football. I mean, we got a big dub. We're all eating dubs.
Yeah.
But
Found out the man Jameis loves Swenson's as well.
we took our
I
boy
love the good old
Swenson.
galley boy.
I thought that photo was AI at first.
I thought it was too, and then I saw other people for I think it's called Big Play. That's down
Yeah,
the flats.
yeah. It's
Part of them.
McNeil's podcast
Yeah.
with Gabby and Nick, and I forget who else is on there. But yeah, Jameis is a recurring guest now.
Yeah. So I guess they took him to Swenson's for the first time ever. Um,
That's a big victory
it's a big
meal.
dub. Yeah. We'll talk more about that game. Did you watch Ohio State at all?
I did. I wasn't comfortable the entire game.
No, I thought for sure we were losing that game this week.
Hmm.
I'm like, this Nebraska team's not even playing that good. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, that was just I
Do you think
mean,
we're in a slump after that Oregon loss? Because they played good in that Oregon game, even. Like,
well, I think we played better in Oregon than we did in this game. I don't know what we were doing, but I mean, listen, our season rides on next week against Penn State. If you go into Penn State and you lose, it's pretty much written on the wall. I mean, Ryan Day's gonna get fired. I don't know.
you think Penn State would get him fired, or do you think if we lost to Michigan somehow he would? If we lost to Michigan this year, we he would for sure have to be fired.
Well, we will not lose to Michigan this year, regardless. They're not the same team as they were last year. But a part of that argument is I don't think we make it to Michigan with him if he loses to Penn State. I don't see it.
Oh, you see it as a mid-season fire.
Oh yeah. I mean, of all the coaches on the hot seat, he's likely not going to be the first one to go. But if you lose a game like that, I don't know, man. I could totally see. I mean, maybe Ohio State rides it out. They have a two-loss season. They ride it out. We end up beating Michigan. We don't even play in the Big Ten championship, and maybe we hope for the what 10th, 12th seed, maybe sneaking into the playoffs. And then you see what he can do. But our season, like I said, it rides on this weekend against Penn State. Maybe
Yeah.
they won't mid-season fire. I guess that's a little dramatic, but I truthfully am most worried about Penn State the rest of the year.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's probably our toughest game left on the schedule. Um, Not that I necessarily think Michigan's going to be a a cakewalk. I think they are going to be a cakewalk this year compared to last year. But um, yeah, I think Penn State's going to be a huge test for them. See if they can bounce back from that Oregon loss. Um, and isn't Penn State's quarterback from Medina?
Yes, Drew Aller.
Yeah.
Yep, he went to Medina. We've got them, and in 3 weeks we have Indiana, who's technically the number one team in the Big Ten right now.
Yeah, I don't see that. I don't see Indiana holding up with Ohio State. I'm not saying that I think Ohio State's going to blow them out, but
Well, Indiana, unfortunately, I mean, we are heavily favored. 75% of the analytics are, rooting for us. Um, Indiana's last five were Washington, Nebraska, Northwestern Maryland, and Charlotte, which are all unranked in the last five at least.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, they just don't have a very strong schedule, especially being
yeah.
big.
So they're 8-0 and they look like a strong 8-0 on paper at number 13, but they have not truthfully, yeah, they've not played a single ranked opponent yet. Their first test will be Michigan, even though they're unranked. Will be Michigan in a couple weeks, and then Ohio State literally the next week. Up until then, though, they have Michigan State, Michigan, Ohio State, Purdue.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah. But all right, let's go ahead and talk about week 8 of the NFL season. I know we were recording during or no, the day after this game. Actually we recorded. So let's talk a little bit about Thursday night football. We had the Minnesota Vikings facing off against the LA Rams. About an hour or so before the game, Rams announced that both Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua were going to be returning to play in this game today, which I thought was awesome. And I was thankful that I wasn't one of the people that decided to just leave Puka on my bench.
Yeah, I think the minute you see him in the lineup, you're like, yep, putting him in.
Yeah, throwing him in. He's tough as nails. If he
Yeah,
can,
I mean, unlike Nick Chubb, I had a weird feeling that his first game back, he's still coming off of that injury. There's no way starting him makes any sense. And I left him on the bench. He only put up 10 points, even though he had a touchdown. But even this week, he still didn't really do anything.
he got going in the first half, but it seemed like they didn't really go to him the second half at all.
No, it was mostly just Jameis. I mean, 334 passing yards. That'll do it.
Yeah, but back to this game. First 4 drives were all touchdowns in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this was an absolute awesome game to watch, especially that first half. Um, I mean, when the Rams play good, they're fun to watch. I understand why the lad likes them so much or like them.
Yeah.
Like they are fun to watch. Um, and I'm glad to see that it doesn't look like they're going to be trading Cooper Kupp. Not that I think it's completely out the window, but
Oh, certainly. Yeah.
I think that game was going to determine a lot because I mean they're either going to be 3-4 or they're going to be 2-5 and the season's washed.
Mm-hmm.
So 3-4, they're still,
They're fighting. They're scrapping.
yeah, they're scrapping. There's still plenty of season left. But to, you know, take on a 5-1 team, Minnesota Vikings, who've been playing on fire all season, um, and to beat them by 10 was awesome. Matt Stafford looked great. Um, Continuously reminding everyone that, in also my opinion, he is a Hall of Famer. I think Matthew Stafford is a Hall of Famer.
Easily. He's got
Yeah.
a Super Bowl. I mean, he
Now that he has a
technically,
Super Bowl, there's no debate.
yeah,
Um, Also one of the most underappreciated quarterbacks in NFL history, I
for
think.
sure.
Um, but yeah, no, this game was awesome. Sam Darnold even played pretty good this game. Nothing, too crazy, but hey, he's serviceable. 240 yards, two touchdowns. Uh, Minnesota didn't really get anything going with the running game, and really a lot of Darnold's passing yards were from Justin Jefferson, who had 115 yards.
Yeah, coming off the bye, I was really looking forward to seeing Jordan Addison play. Um, didn't really get the ball going. It was mostly just Jefferson, like you mentioned. Jordan Addison, like Smith and Jigba, seems to be that player for me that I have a hard time figuring out who to play over each other on the bench. And it's like one or the other. You pick one to play, the other one on the bench goes off. It's like the oldest trick in the book for me. It seems like I can't figure it out. I guess I gotta look at the matchups a little better, but Addison, I think, has more potential being wide receiver two in Minnesota.
Then
I
JSN.
know I know we've talked about JSN being kind of that like 2 to 3 with Lockett still in the game, but
Yeah.
the
Um,
Vikings, the
one,
Vikings looked all right. I mean,
yeah,
just couldn't get it done.
one thing that really stood out to me in this game was the Vikings defense. You know, the Vikings defense had played great all season so far. Um, I don't know. They just haven't looked right.
No, it was an off game for them.
Yeah. So hopefully they get that figured out because I want to see the Vikings do good. I
Hmm.
like that the whole NFC North is playing really, really competitive this year. It's been awesome to watch.
Yeah.
All
It,
four
it
teams, all
reminds
four
me of the AFC North. It was last year, wasn't it? Just all
last
four
year,
teams.
well, last year and maybe not the year before, but last year for sure, yeah. All four teams were about to make it until the last 2 weeks, I want to say Cincinnati got eliminated.
Yeah.
And technically they were still in the race, but it was Indianapolis that snuck in there.
Yep.
Or snuck in their spot, I should say. Um, but yeah, let's get into this next game. We kind of called this on the show. Um, the New England Patriots beat the New York Jets 25-22. Uh, like I said, this was that game we kind of had a gut feeling somehow, New England was gonna have a shot at this. Don't know how,
There
don't
was
know.
there was a couple gut games this week.
Yeah. So I'm thankful I put nothing on this game and had no interest in it because I knew it wasn't going to be no 7 point cakewalk.
Yeah.
Um, Aaron Rodgers, threw for 233 yards, two touchdowns, no picks. Braylon Allen got a touchdown. Looks like they got Devontae Smith a little bit, just slightly more involved than the week before, so he's probably going to ease into this role. But in all honesty, they don't got time to ease him into anything.
No, not when you were 2-6.
Yeah, you're 2-6. You're letting this thing slide. You're now at the same record as the Patriots.
How many how many teams have gone 2-6 and made the playoffs? Realistically, it's like they're as
Has
you
there
said,
been
they're running out
any?
of time.
I'm actually curious. Has there been any?
I don't know. I haven't I didn't do the research on that one, but I know it's been asked a lot on Twitter today or just this yeah, since yesterday afternoon.
I'm looking it up. Name the playoffs.
Drake May got hurt in this game. Jacoby Brissett had to come in and finish the game. Interesting there. Drake May plays the whole game. I think they would have won by a little more.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm trying to see games played. Why is it showing me how many teams? It's showing me on StatMuse right now. It's trying to show me.
Oh, Rusty going all the way down the field. Oh no, we missed it. Jersey Jerry got on TV with his sussy for Rusty, who's signed.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, but I guess the the security warned him already because he must have been going off about the George Pickens touchdowns getting called back, and they warned him that they'd throw him out. Poor Jerry.
Jared. Big teams. Um, the Jets right here. Um, trying to see if I can spite. Man, I can't. They basically have to go. They have to win out essentially
Yeah,
to make the playoffs. Something on here saying that the Bears have done it before, but I can't get any specifics, so I don't want to say that it's true because I'm not finding a year on it.
that's all right. We can figure it out. And if we find it, we'll post it on Wednesday when we get the lads on.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, but yeah, Drake May, like you said, got hurt in this game pretty early on, it looks like too. Uh, Ramondre Stevenson, um, got 2 touchdowns. He had the game winner. Uh, Patriots just have to be like one of the most boring teams in football to watch, though.
Yeah,
I'm looking at these receiving stats, and that ball doesn't get thrown in the air very often.
it's ugly.
Yeah. It's just old school running football, which I like. I like, don't get me wrong, but you know, throw more than 20 passes. Um, but next we had the Philadelphia Eagles beating the Cincinnati Bengals 37-17.
This
So
was my gut
I
game.
yeah, I actually have a funny story about this. So I was at work when this game was happening, and last I had known, the Bengals were up 17, I want to say 17-7, and I took the Bengals spread, and I just saw that the game was getting close, and I just glanced at my phone and took a screenshot because I saw a lot of my other games were, they were gonna hit, so I didn't even really look at Cincinnati's score. I'm like, oh, I sent it to the boys, and they were like, yeah, since he's not gonna hit. I
Mm-hmm.
just read it wrong, and I was so sad.
I said,
Even though I shouldn't have taken the alt on Miami.
I said all along that game was feeling weird to me. Something about the Eagles. They're back to full strength. You guys called me insane. Called me a madman. But I said all along, take the Eagles money line.
Well, I knew it was for sure make or break for them.
Yeah.
I just thought it was gonna be a classic Eagles break. But no,
Yeah.
you were right.
And
Um,
now the Bengals are 0-4 at home this year.
yeah, that's insane. Jalen Hurts had a bunch of rushing touchdowns this game, so if you had him in fantasy, you were feeling pretty good about that. Because you'll take rushing touchdowns over passing touchdowns. Um, Devontae Smith finally got active, 85 yards and a touchdown. Had only one more yard than AJ Brown. Um, and then Saquon got over 100 yards rushing as well. Um, but Cincinnati, I know my prop of the week was Jamar Chase, 80 plus yards. He only ended up with 54, but he did get the touchdown. So I really regret not making it that Jamar Chase anytime touchdown. But I'll take it.
It is what it is. You win some, you lose most.
Yeah. Um, but next game, this game made little to no sense to me. Packers beat the Jacksonville Jaguars 30-27. Um, Jordan Love, I don't know what's going on with him now.
Well, he got injured again.
Yeah, but the last 2 weeks he's looked kind of rough. He's looked good and then rough at just random times.
Yeah. I don't know what he's dealing with, but he comes out, Malik Willis comes in and looks like a competent quarterback all of a sudden. And I think that the Packers are having fun being able to go back and forth between Love and Willis. I think Willis has been playing real well. Definitely didn't cover the spread. They had, I think, a 9.5 point spread.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I took the no, I think the spread was only
was it three?
yeah, because this
I
was
think I
one I
did.
got
I think
pushed. I got
I
a
didn't. I did an alt spread of 9.5.
yeah. Yeah, because I took the regular spread on this one. But I think that was considered a push, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, which sucks, but
there was two pushes this week amongst the four of us.
yeah, which I thought was interesting because I don't think that's happened to any of us.
Not yet.
Yeah, until this week.
Which maybe those ties or pushes will come down at the end of the season. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Um,
Maybe that'll make the difference for the lad of last place versus third place.
yeah, yeah, that's true. Um, but Josh Jacobs had a great game, 127 yards, two touchdowns. Tucker Kraft has really shown out this year.
Yeah, one thing we do need to mention about this Sunday in particular was it was National Tight End Day, and we did not set up a tight end parlay. We should have had a tight end parlay on our gambling podcast.
Yeah.
That was a big miss by us.
Yeah.
Next year we will not miss that. My cousin-in-law,
Hmm.
she did a $5 bet with like 10 different guys getting a touchdown, and she won $3,300 yesterday. No,
Wow.
$5, yeah, $5 bet for 3,300.
Wow.
Touchdown again. Austin.
Austin.
Yeah, Steelers. All right, my first parlay hit.
Oh, nice.
It was 10 for 21.
And just double your money. It's a
Yep.
profit. Um, but Brian Thomas gets another touchdown in this game here. Um, is Travis Etienne like officially hurt now, or he just straight up not play this game?
I have no idea what is going on with him.
Yeah, because I haven't heard shit, and I haven't really cared to watch the Jaguars a whole lot, but I keep
Nah.
looking at the box score. I his name just disappears.
I think the only game that I've watched of theirs really was their London games.
Yeah, that's about it. And then when we played them, when the Browns played them,
Mm-hmm.
other than that, haven't had really much of a reason to watch them. This next team, though, I've had a ton of reason to watch. The Detroit Lions absolutely demolished the Tennessee Titans at home, 52-14, with Jared Goff only having to throw 85 yards.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
That makes no sense to me.
How does that happen? I thought my phone was glitching when I read that the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Jared Goff really only had 85 yards.
Well, that's like when CJ Stroud had only 86 the week before. I was like, what is going on with these elite quarterbacks?
Yeah.
It makes you wonder if something's going on.
Boy, 85 yards and three touchdown passes.
Yeah,
I mean that's just unheard of.
I agree.
Yeah, Mason Rudolph, 266 yards, one touchdown, two interceptions. Tony Pollard, 94 yards. Like Calvin Ridley even had a good game for once, 143 yards out of nowhere. No touchdown though.
Mm-hmm.
But Detroit, man, they're just scary. They're just scary. Let's see how many defensive touchdowns. Oh, we only had one defensive touchdown. Um, there's the two picks. A punt return for a touchdown. And then only one field goal. Yeah, I don't get it, man. Detroit's just good.
They're just a solid overall good team. They're Super Bowl ready.
Yeah. That I'm telling you, I'm gonna root for them to win the Super Bowl. no matter who's in the playoffs this year.
I've only got 3 teams this year that I really want to see that I think I'm gonna put 50 each. Lions, Bills, Texans.
Yeah,
Obviously,
I'm
the
with you on the
Chiefs,
Texans, but the Texans scare me right now, dude.
I know they scare me too, but Nico Collins is coming back, I think in a week or two. You get him back, you got him and Tank Dell. Just you got Joe Mixon. Just keep playing their normal game and they could do it. The easiest money would be to put it on the Chiefs to win, but for like a middle tier, middle of the top tier, like betting, it's gonna be the Lions, the Bills, and the Texans. The only thing that scares me about the Bills is Josh just seems like he always crumbles. But if you can avoid playing the Chiefs in the playoffs, I think they can go all the way.
Yeah, I think it's gonna take them banking on another team beating the Chiefs,
Hmm.
like a Baltimore upsetting them or someone,
The Texans.
or a Cincinnati. Like if Cincinnati took them out, I think Buffalo would take Cincinnati.
Yeah. But I don't even think Cincinnati makes the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't think so either as of right now. Um,
They got a lot to prove still.
yeah. But let's go ahead and move into this next game. We had mine and your matchup, 2.0. Atlanta Falcons beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 31 to 26. Falcons moving to 5-3 to take number one in the NFC South.
Let's talk about this win.
Yeah.
Kyle Pitts dropped that ball before he went in the end zone. That was a fumble, and it should have been Tampa Bay ball.
And the refs didn't count that. They didn't catch that. They didn't
It
catch
was
that. But
dumb.
I 100% agree. Um, 91 yards, 2 touchdowns. One of them was the one that he dropped. Um, Bijan Robinson, another great game where he got a touchdown, a receiving touchdown.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think he's got a touchdown like the last 5 games.
yeah, Drake London his streak finally ended. Uh, 4 catches for 34 yards. Didn't really do a whole lot. Started off in the beginning pretty hot, but then kind of mellowed out. Darnell Mooney just continues to make my tweet from this summer look even worse. 86 yards and a touchdown. Um, but Falcons bounced back hard after that pretty harsh loss to Seattle last week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Baker, you gotta feel pretty bad for him. Uh, thank God Cade Otton showed out for him this week for National Tight Ends Day. 9 catches, 81 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Rashad White even got a receiving touchdown.
They found a way to keep it interesting. You lose your 2 best receivers. Baker was still balling out there. Couple interceptions, but it's Baker.
Yeah, I still think the Bucks can be a wild card team easily.
Yeah, 500 in a wild card. It's the lad's favorite saying.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's going to be their path to the playoffs now, especially if Godwin's going to be out for the year and
You'll
a lot
get
of that
Mike Evans
determined on
back week 10 or
when
11.
Evans comes back too.
Yeah, you'll get him back.
Yeah. But next we have the Arizona Cardinals beating the Miami Dolphins in Tua's return to football, not wearing a Guardian cap.
Nope.
Kyler Murray gets a win on the weekend of Black Ops 6 release, which, by the way, if you have not played, is absolutely awesome. It's
I
like
didn't get it.
it's just like the good old days, man.
Is it?
Yes.
Well, it's good to hear. I know a lot of people are posting their memes of like, me buying it, me buying Black Ops 1, and it's like then they try to find like the similar shirt or outfit, and it's like me buying Black Ops 6.
Oh, I do see FaZe Rugs.
Yes,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
Saw that exact one.
Yeah. Um, yeah, no, I've loved the game.
Gosh.
I kind of went into it with low expectation and I've actually loved it.
I heard the zombies is one of the best parts.
I actually haven't even got to try that part out yet. So I'm
A
actually
lot
looking forward to that.
a lot of people were playing that while the The campaign was taking forever to download.
Yeah, I've never been a huge campaign guy, but I'm definitely gonna give it a try. Um, but anyways, back to football. Trey McBride showing out also for National Tight Ends Day, 124 yards receiving, and Marvin Harrison Jr. 111
Sir.
yards and a
Yes,
touch.
sir.
Had a play in particular where he absolutely cooked Jalen Ramsey. Didn't really do anything special, but just hit him with the burners. Tua, nothing crazy from him this game. Um, had a touchdown and 234 yards. Raheem Mostert had two touchdowns. He was sitting on my bench, but I mean, shit, if you only told me he was going to get 19 yards rushing today, I probably wouldn't have started him.
Yeah.
But yeah, just had 16 points sitting on my bench. Um, Tyreek Hill, I thought this was going to be a lock in my parlay this week. This was the only prop that did not hit was a Tyreek Hill anytime touchdown. I thought that was going to be the most for sure lock out of
Because
my
who would have
whole.
thought? Who would have thought? He told you to start him.
Yeah.
Who
Six
would have thought?
catches, 72 yards. Um, Achan got the only receiving touchdown for the Dolphins, but impressive win from Kyler. This team, I'm still trying to figure it out. Um, I think that they just need to, really focus on getting some more talent in there because I think they have some good talent. It's just, you know, building that up, getting these young players built up, ready for the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because they're just scrappy. They're not a team that you can take lightly because they're either going to be a team that you're going to blow them out or they're somehow going to win at the end. We've seen it
Yep.
now twice. We've seen it with Miami this week and then the 49ers a few weeks ago. So I really don't get it. Um, Now we're on to our Cleveland Browns, who beat the Baltimore Ravens 29-24. I know me and you were pretty checked out on this game, but got off work Saturday night, came home. Me and Caitlin were just sitting on the couch, and you know, I was just thinking about Jim Donovan who passed, and I just looked over at Caitlin and I told her, and she'll quote me on it, that I looked at her, I said, I think the Browns are somehow going to win tomorrow. I don't know how, but they are. So I
You want
just
to know
had a
why?
gut feeling that they were going to win
You want to know why they won?
because we
Because I
had
bet
James.
the Ravens. I bet the Ravens to pull off the alternate spread of 13.5 points and destroy us. That's why we lost.
Thank you for
Last
your service, Dylan.
last year, the 49ers, who were 5-0, come into Cleveland, and in a rainy, cold day, the Cleveland Browns beat the San Francisco 49ers on a missed field goal because I bet all of my house money on the 49ers money line or the spread. That was the last time that I bet against the Browns. And I just when I finally gave up on us, I did it again. And it just never fails. The gambling gods, they tell me stop betting against your team. It's a lose-lose. But I'll tell you what, it was a win-win for me because if the Browns won, the Browns won. If the Browns lost and the Ravens covered, it was a win for me. But that was an incredible ending to the game. I mean, listen, say what you will, he should have thrown that pick. Hamilton should have caught that pick. There was so many balls in that game that could have been a pick. At the end of the day, a win is a win, and we eating dubs.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's not like the Ravens even played like that bad. I think the Browns just really showed out this game.
Our defense was top tier finally. Like they looked great. I mean, Lamar Jackson's going to be a two-time MVP. I mean, he's going to find open seams and find, those pockets that are going to destroy our secondary for long balls. But at the end of the day, Derrick Henry's Derrick Henry. We still managed to play pretty well against them and we came out with the win. I was happy about it. It
Yeah,
gave me hope.
Yeah.
We might just become a 500 team and make the wild card.
Hey, you never know, man. You never know. Jameis Winston, 334 yards, three touchdowns, no picks. Cedric Tillman had finally had a breakout game, seven catches, 99 yards, and two touchdowns. That was awesome to see. Uh, Elijah Moore and Jerry Jeudy both also had awesome games with 85 yards and 79 yards. So that, once again, awesome to see.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of forgot that they were all capable of that.
Oh,
Um,
for sure.
and then Nick Chubb, it's just gonna take him some time to keep going. Had a 15-yard run in this game. I believe this was early on too, that he had that big run.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, awesome game to watch. I'm glad that I did end up watching it. Just very, very much needed win. This win helped me. It's gonna help me get through the rest of this year.
Just seeing Jameis out there is going to get me through the rest of the year.
Yeah,
It's just like when Joe Flacco came in. I had the most fun as a Browns fan when Joe Flacco was our quarterback. I think we're going to
exactly,
get a similar feeling here.
exactly. Um, Next we have the Houston Texans beating the Indianapolis Colts 23-20. Anthony Richardson,
It's time to sit him.
yeah, I don't know what you do, man. I don't know what you do.
I
Four
think
and
they're purposely
four.
trying to hurt. I think they're purposely trying to hurt him.
No.
The whole offense runs through him, and he doesn't slide. He gets hurt so freaking much. It's not even funny. Oh, there's George Pickens all the way down to the five. Um, the whole offense, obviously he's the quarterback, but it runs through Richardson. I mean, Jonathan Taylor just is like the quietest 100 rushing yards and a touchdown guy I've ever seen. But Richardson, you look at his halftime stat line, he was like 2 of 15 of 81 yards. That is disgusting numbers.
Yeah, that is pretty disgusting.
I just don't know what they're going to do about him. You hope that it's just well, you really can't even call it a sophomore slump. I mean, you could say CJ Stroud, even though he's playing well, could be in a sophomore slump. I mean, Joe Burrow, I think we agreed that he did that. Um, but Richardson, it's like he never really took off. I mean, he had those early games last year, and then this year, his first week, he had that huge bomb down the field. But ultimately, we've really not seen Richardson look like a full quarterback, a full QB1 to this point, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, I mean, even if going back to last year, like if you think about it, when we were ranting about Richardson, it wasn't necessarily because of his throwing, it was because he was able to get out of the pocket
He,
and
he can make plays.
yeah, he could go make a play. Meanwhile, this game, I mean, Josh Downs looked like on this box score the only competent receiver. Four catches, 109 yards, and a touchdown. I mean that's pretty damn good,
Yeah.
but your second leading receiver has 16 yards and one catch. I don't know. You're just not going to win football games that way. And yeah, they have Jonathan Taylor, but 10 for 32 passing is horrendous. That's awful. And then Joe Mixon, yet again, another 100-yard performance and a touchdown. Diggs did get hurt in the third quarter in this game, Stephon Diggs.
Yeah,
Uh,
he's got an MRI tomorrow.
yeah, sounds like he's going to be out next week of what I heard. Tank Dell finally got a touchdown, and then Kate Stover even got some playing time. And
Yeah.
Robert Woods, who I forgot was on the team.
Yeah.
So good win from the Texans, but they still worry me. This next game, I I saw the first quarter of this game. I don't know why I put myself through the pain of that first quarter. Um, Actually, it wasn't even the first quarter. It was honestly the first half. The first half was pretty rough. Um, it was 5-9 at halftime.
Ugly.
Yeah. And
I
then
hated, I hated when Red Zone would cut back to this game.
yeah, there was absolutely no reasoning to have this game on. Did this end up being a scoregami, do you know?
It did not.
It did not. Oh. Chargers won 26-8. Um,
Well,
really no one,
let me look at
yeah, really no one got anything going. But Lad McConkey, um, this was his breakout game. 6 catches, 111 yards, and 2 touchdowns, which I absolutely love. I love Lad McConkey. Um, I just hope that the Chargers can get another receiver to pair up with him because Josh Palmer is not a wide receiver one or two.
no,
Um, Jalen Reagor's on the Chargers. Did not know that.
not a scoregami.
Not a scoregami. Damn.
Jake Marsh would have posted it.
They had all the potential of becoming a scoregami.
Oh yeah.
Um, Next we have the Buffalo Bills beating the Seattle Seahawks 31-10. Amari Cooper didn't do anything this game. Just 1 catch for 3 yards. But this was the Khalil Shakir and Keon Coleman show. 107 yards and then 70 yards with a touchdown. Seattle and Gino just can't get it all done. But this was, JSN's week.
On my bench.
Yep. DK Metcalf did not play in this game, I believe, at all. I think he was listed as out at the beginning of this game. But Seattle couldn't even get anything going with the rushing game. I mean, sure, Charbonnet got a rushing touchdown, but 3 carries for 4 yards and a
Hmm.
touchdown. I mean, your leading rusher was Geno Smith with 16 yards.
Yeah, nah, that's not good.
So yeah, it's just pass, 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 pass with them. Um, but yeah, Seahawks, they're I don't know, they're just a really weird team in my opinion.
I don't know what to think of them because every week, they start off 3-0 and they lose to the Bills. They get a weird win against the Falcons, who've been somewhat red hot, and then they come out and stink up this game. It's just weird.
Yeah, they make zero sense to me. Only thing that I like on this team a lot is that young secondary is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's always been a Legion of Boom there. I mean, they're always going to be good. They know how to draft guys and pick up talent.
Yeah, and then that wide receiving crew too. Even though I think that's gonna get broken up here fairly soon.
I really
Of
want JSN on the Texans. You know I want JSN on the Texans so bad.
I know.
If not, then send Emeka Egbuka to the Texans in the draft. Just
Yeah.
give Stroud one of his boys. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, just do it. Just do it. Do it.
Next, we had what we were saying could be game of the week. I wouldn't necessarily say it was game of the week, but it was 100% play of the week. We had the Washington Commanders beating the Chicago Bears at the very end as time expired, 18 to 15. This game kind of was a stinker for majority of the game.
For 99% of the game.
Yeah, until that fourth quarter.
It was so bad. But I'll be honest, I would rather watch this than the Chargers Saints because of the two rookie quarterbacks with Jayden Daniels being questionable up until Sunday morning. Nobody wanted to see Marcus Mariota go out there and play against Caleb Williams. They wanted Jayden Daniels with his rib injury, who what was funny as hell, Tony Romo kept saying on the broadcast, "Yeah, I think maybe they should put Mariota in here to throw the ball for the Hail Mary." Because they were trying to say that Jaden Daniels was hurt. But like all game, Jaden was throwing the ball down the field and was catch finding McLaurin like wide open.
Yeah,
And like I understood what he was saying, but like in that moment, it's Jaden. Like you do not switch the momentum to Mariota.
yeah, that was a bad call by Romo. Jayden
Yeah.
Daniels, for the record, had 326 yards passing. Only touchdown he had was that game winner that Noah Brown caught. McLaurin with 125 yards, and then Zach Ertz with 77 yards. Um, but yeah, Caleb Williams didn't really get anything going until the end of this game. Only finished with 131 yards passing. DeAndre Swift had a good game, 129 yards on the ground, with a rushing touchdown. And then Roshan Smith or Johnson is the one that ran it in for their last touchdown, I believe. But what a crazy way to win a game on a tip pass. Um, Now Tyreek Stevenson, everyone's seen the video on Twitter right now.
Bad,
I man,
bad,
I
bad,
don't know
bad,
how I'd feel as a Chicago fan. I know he apologized on social media, but
bad karma.
yeah, that's bad. Uh,
Bad.
I know I tweeted that I'd put him on the practice squad, but I know he's too damn good for that.
It was
'Cause
just a bonehead
he is a
move.
good corner.
Just a bonehead move.
Yeah.
You know, if this was college ball, you could definitely, because like I said, if you did that against Nebraska and that was the game losing play to Nebraska for Ohio State, that cornerback or safety would be done. Like his
Yeah,
career.
they'd be done, or yeah, they would have no choice but to hit the transfer portal.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah.
Like imagine, but imagine, this is just hypothetical, but imagine if it was Caleb Downs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, he'd be done for. Um, I did see that the Bears are trying to appeal that last play, showing evidence for plenty of holding calls. If they did overturn that, then the Bears technically would win this game.
Yeah,
So I'm curious if that's going to be the case or not. Oh, did the Giants score a touchdown?
a while ago.
Oh, okay.
Tracy had like a 46-yard rushing touchdown.
Oh,
He's
nice.
got over 100 rushing yards in the game.
Yeah, I see that 137 he's at.
Mm-hmm. I'm just waiting for that Malik Neighbors touchdown so then Steelers can ground and pound, give the Giants one last chance, and then make Daniel Jones throw a pick to lose the game, and then I cash out my bet. But that's all wishful thinking.
Yeah. Um, Next we had the Denver Broncos beating the Carolina Panthers 28 to 14. This game actually had me pretty worried in the beginning, considering it had such a large spread.
Yeah,
Um,
it's like 11 and a half points,
Bryce,
wasn't it?
yeah, well, Bryce Young got the Panthers started right out of the gate with a touchdown to Leggett, I believe.
Yeah,
Um, and I thought I'm like, oh, maybe Bryce Young's gonna play pretty good. Well, he played decent for him. Two touchdowns, two interceptions, 224 yards. But the real story was Bo Nix, three touchdown passes, one rushing touchdown. This was his come out game.
I'll tell you what, he has been the best bench quarterback all season. I have had him on my bench from week one because I said I'm going to pick one quarterback that's a starter to have on the bench just in case for my bye week. And I'm like, you know what? Let's give Bo Nix a chance. I picked up Cortland Sutton late in the draft. Bo Nix was my last pick. Bo Nix is a dog. I mean, the future is bright in Denver. I'll say it. I will say it. I think they've got a lot of good stuff going on. I mean, the running back room's great. Wide receiver room is coming along. And Bo Nix, I mean, he's solid in that defense with Surtain. When they're all playing, they're playing. I know it's the Panthers, but credit where credit is due. Broncos are a sneaky, sneaky team in the AFC.
Yeah, no, absolutely. This next game, not gonna lie, pissed me off pretty bad. I wish I would have cashed out on it. When I had the chance to make a pretty good profit, but I thought, hey, Chiefs, they're playing the Raiders. I think this 10-point alt spread is going to be pretty nice. I gave him some points. I thought the spread was a little too low and wanted to give him some points.
Everybody thought that though with the puppet, the Patrick Mahomes puppet. I mean,
Well, they were up by 10. They were right at my spread. They were at
mhm.
over the 9.5. Um, Chiefs only win 27-20. Looks like the Raiders made a pretty strong little run at the end. Um, but the biggest news out of this is that you got what you wanted.
I did. I was so happy. I sat there and I'm looking at Gabby and I go, hey, Travis Kelce touchdown coming up on this play. And she goes, what? I go, watch. Travis Kelce touchdown. I said, it's tight end day. He's getting it right here. Touchdown, Travis Kelce. I was like, let's fucking go. 8 weeks later.
Yeah, I can't believe it's been 13 regular season games since he
Been
scored.
a long ass time.
Yeah,
I mean, he was my old reliable on my fantasy team last year. And I'm like, yep, I'm sticking with him. He's the dog. I mean, gosh, I just couldn't believe it took 8 weeks of this season to get a damn touchdown.
yeah. I don't know what's going on with Mahomes this year because he's not like I don't want to say he's playing terrible, but terrible to his standard.
To his standard. I
Yeah,
mean, his interception yesterday that was tipped at the line. I mean, it was tipped out of his hand. What are you gonna do about that? I mean,
yeah,
he was playing pretty conservative ball most of the game yesterday. I mean, there's definitely a different side of him this season than we've seen versus past years where, fuck it, Tyreek's down there somewhere. I
yeah,
mean, they've played a lot more conservative, but that's just the game right now. I mean, run through Kareem Hunt, find the gaps with Travis Kelce, Noah Gray, sneak in Xavier Worthy here and there. I mean, now you've got DeAndre Hopkins to go deep. They barely used him, which I didn't really get a good clue on if that was just good defense on the Raiders' part covering him or if he just wasn't getting open, but I didn't really see much out of him.
he only dropped, and I don't even know if it was technically a drop. He was targeted 3 times, but had 2 catches, 29 yards. I think a lot of it is just, they want to get him more familiar with the playbook before they start getting him
Sure,
those snaps.
sure.
Because I saw that he wasn't lined up out there a good amount of the time. Um, but Raiders, you know, find a way to stick into this game. Looking at the numbers, other than the first 2 touchdowns that they had with Jacoby Myers and Trey Tucker or DJ Turner, my bad, it wasn't
Hmm.
Trey Tucker. Um, didn't really get a whole lot going offensively after that. Um, other than they had some kicking. But Gardner Minshew not turning the ball over this game. Two
No, and
touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
what was weird was at one point Spencer, or I always say Spencer Rattler, Desmond Ritter came into the game, but then they took him out immediately and put Gardner back in. It was so weird. Like he came in and then they blew the play dead and it was a false start and then they put Minshew back in. It was so weird. I don't know if he got tweaked on like the previous play and they were just like, get out there, get out there.
I was gonna say, I wonder if his helmet fell off because if isn't it if
Not
you're
in the NFL. That's college.
I thought in the NFL you still had to come out for a play.
College.
Oh, yeah. I thought
Hmm.
so if your helmet popped off, you had to come off. Um, yeah, that is weird. I didn't even see that happen. That must have been on my drive home.
Oh shit. Steelers just fumbled. Giants got the ball back.
Ooh,
I mean, they're down by 8 with 4.5 minutes left. It's doable.
yeah, that is doable.
Malik Neighbors touchdown.
And then we had Sunday night football. This game also pissed me off because I took a alt spread. I had the San Francisco 49ers winning by 7 over 6.5, not 6.
Hmm.
The regular spread was 5.5, but I'm like, I don't like that.
Man, sometimes the sports books just know what they're talking about.
I think they just know my alt spread thoughts.
Yeah.
Um, but this game, I don't know. This game was really weird to watch. Um, Jordan Mason didn't play a whole lot. Brock Purdy, I didn't really think played all that great. Just pretty conservative for the most part. Um, George Kittle had an awesome game though. 6 catches, 128 yards, and a touchdown. I would debate whether he had probably the best day out of all the tight ends.
Yeah, with a touchdown for sure. I mean, arguably, McBride had the best yards day. I think he'd give the overall best day to Kyle Pitts with the 90 yards and 2 touchdowns. But
Yeah,
I
because
don't
Kittle even got McBride beat by 4 yards, I think.
know. So I don't know. Yeah, I guess you could say, oh yeah, okay. So then I would still say Pitts, Kittle, then McBride, but
Yeah,
um,
since that one touchdown counted.
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Still pissed.
43 yard. That was an absolute monster run. It felt like it was further than 43 yards that George Kittle ran. And I thought he was going to get another touchdown. So he almost had 2 touchdowns. Debo Samuel, one thing I noticed in this game, and granted, I get that he had pneumonia, um, and was refusing to take oxygen on the sideline in between, possessions.
hmm
But 71 yards, had a 47-yard run, actually got a touchdown called back on him, from a tight end who got called for holding. But Debo dropped quite a few passes today that I thought were pretty easy. One of them that probably would have been a touchdown if it was thrown where it needed to be thrown. It absolutely would have been ran in for a touchdown by Debo. Um, but yeah, it looked like he was struggling catching the ball today. Dak Prescott, speaking of catching the ball, struggling to catch the ball, Dak Prescott really, really struggled today or this game. Really only finding CD Lamb, and he found Jake Ferguson 6 times, but only 23 yards. But CD Lamb, especially in that fourth quarter, 13 catches, 146 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Zeke got in the end zone too with Calvin, or not Calvin, Dalvin Cook, getting some carries in this game, getting called up from the practice squad. But yeah, I think it's safe to say that Dallas is toast.
Yeah, and I think the Giants are toast as well. Daniel Jones just got strip sacked by TJ Watt, and TJ Watt recovered the football.
Oh yeah, they're done for.
Um, yeah, Dallas down bad. Um, it's bad. It's so bad. It's a dumpster fire down there. I think it's time for Jerry to sell the team.
Oh, sell the team.
Just sell the team.
I think that he definitely should not be the GM. I can tell you that much.
That makes more sense, but
Yeah.
something needs to change there. They've got a lot of good talent. I mean, is it McCarthy? Is it Dak? I mean, to me, when Michael Parsons is in, that defense is great. They've got so many weapons on offense. I mean, they're really playing a weird game with running back right now. Their running back rooms, it makes no sense. You've got Dowdle, who's really great, Deuce Vaughn, who's kind of been like that weird, like now he's the fourth stringer with Dalvin Cook coming up. But then you've got two veterans in Zeke and Dalvin Cook who are at best two third down backs. I just I don't get what they're doing with all that in their running back room. Like you need young guys.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't get it at all. But other than that, it's looking like the Steelers are going to be winning this game. Um, but this is also the National Football League. You never know. They're
Any
up
given
26
Monday.
18. Yeah, any given Monday. Um, But yeah, other than that, Dylan, is there anything that you wanted to talk about before we got off this episode?
Did you or did you not watch the video of the ice rink football that I sent you?
Yeah, that's insane.
I don't think that's in America.
No, there's no
I
way.
I think that was like in Japan.
Yeah, that's absolutely insane.
Would you ever play ice rink football?
Absolutely not. That sounds horrible.
It looked awful.
Yeah. Yeah, that looks horrible.
For anyone wondering, they would snap the ball and it would go like 10 feet over the quarterback's head, and he would slide on the ice trying to get the ball. And it's just a mess trying to watch them get down the ice rink.
Yeah.
But that was really it. Another good week in the books. Wasn't very profitable for me, but it was very profitable for my friends. And we will talk about our picks from this past week on Thursday's episode as we recap with the lads and we jump into week 9. We're halfway there,
We are. We're halfway there. Here
officially
we go.
halfway there, and we are 2 weeks away from our wing bet.
Yes.
I'm pumped.
Very excited for that.
We still gotta figure out which one we're going to. The lad said he might even be willing to come up north, but
Yeah, I think that would be awesome. But
don't matter
I'm
to me.
also down to make the commute too. So
Yep, absolutely. So make sure whatever you do this week, you gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-GAMBLER if you have any problems. We love you guys.
peace.